A TV show that was starring evangelical Christians as the hosts just got canceled before it even airs. So the bad news is it's not Duck Dynasty. The good news, I don't really know if there's any good news, but here's what happened. HGTV offered a show to David and Jason Benham. And these are twin brothers whose plan was they were going to renovate houses. They were going to turn bad houses into beautiful dream homes. And that was the gist of the show. But after they already started, after they signed all the contracts and everything, it came out that these brothers are not just Christians, because, who really cares about that? But they're pretty nasty Christians. These are guys who have said horrible things about gay people, people who've had abortions, and their father's even worse. Their father, Flip, is the head of Operation Save America, which is one of those nasty anti-abortion groups that protests outside of clinics, making women who are getting the procedure feel even worse. They've also, Flip also stood outside mosques and said things like, "Jesus hates Muslims," as people were walking into the mosque. And one of the brothers actually took after his father in this sense. He would join his father on these rallies and these protests. David Benham actually led a protest outside the Democratic National Convention in 2012. And he's also been known for going on the radio and saying things like, we got to stop this radical homosexual agenda. And Muslims, not extremist Muslims, mind you, all Muslims are the enemy of America. And his brother joined him too on a lot of these protests and rallies. So when this news came out on the website Right Wing Watch, HGTV said, you know what, we're not going to air this show. And it's a smart decision by them, because why deal with this media firestorm? Why alienate so many of your gay-friendly viewers when you have these brothers who have not proven themselves, who don't have a ratings hit yet? Why not? It's just easier for them to just say, you know what, we're not going to deal with this controversy. And by the way, this isn't to say HGTV took away their free speech. No one's taken away these brothers' free speech. They can say whatever they want, but no one owes them a TV show for spouting these awful things. HGTV had to decide between promoting these bigots or, alienating all of their viewers. And I think they made the right decision in that aspect. But this controversy does raise an interesting question, because there are a lot of evangelical Christians who are on television, and a lot of them are very outspoken about their views. So you would think, how come their shows are still on the air and this one got canceled? So let's run through a few of these shows and talk about why they're still on the air. We know the guys from Duck Dynasty are homophobic. We know the patriarch of the family, Phil Robertson, got in huge trouble when he made very homophobic comments to a magazine, last year. And that show, they basically put the father on temporary, suspension, with the full intention of bringing him back once the controversy died down. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. When you have the highest rated show on cable television, they're not just going to cancel you because you said something stupid. They're just going to try to ride this one out. And as much as I hate to admit it, what A&E did for their show, it seems to have worked. I don't think most people seem to care so much about what he said anymore. But they're not going to cancel the highest rated show on cable just because someone says something homophobic. Now it's just the basic line is, this is the Duck Dynasty family. They're Christians. This is what they believe. So, take it or leave it. And they know full well that people aren't leaving it. If you like the show, you love the show. So they don't care about alienating anyone else. What about the Duggar family from 19 Kids and Counting? That is an entire, 21 people who are evangelical Christians or raised in that tradition. And the father, the Jim Bob Duggar, is very outspoken about his conservative principles. But if you actually look for any outright homophobic statements he's made, he doesn't really say a lot of nasty things. They actually tend to keep away from the culture war battle in that sense. And unless I missed something, and I'm sure you'll let me know if I did, but they don't come right out and say, this is how we feel about gay people, this is how we feel about abortion. Their show is mostly about how their family operates with so many kids, and that's the gist of it. So they're not going to get canceled. It is interesting to note that HGTV has offered another reality show to another evangelical Christian. This person's name is Jen Hatmaker, and she's a popular Christian blogger. She's actually a conservative Christian who has said marriage is between one man and one woman, but she pretty much left it at that. She actually thinks it's better if you just don't take sides in the culture war. She thinks that's courageous. I think that's cowardly, but that's a separate issue. But basically, she hasn't made any nasty statements about gay people, and she calls out Christians who do say nasty things about gay people, even though she doesn't think they should be allowed to get married. So I'm thinking her show's probably not going to get canceled. Because remember, this is, as much as some Christian right people are going to make this out to be a story about persecution. You know, people are going after these Christian brothers. And even the magazine Christianity Today, their headline about the story was, "Too Christian for Cable?" Like, no, their Christianity has nothing to do with it. It's the fact that they're bigots. That's it, pure and simple. So other Christians can have their TV shows. We all know there are Christian TV stations. We know there are Christian TV hosts. But if they say something that's truly hateful, and what the Benhams have said is truly hateful, I don't think anyone expects these cable television networks to keep them on the air, especially when they haven't shown anybody why they should keep their shows. It's not like they're a ratings bonanza. It's not like they're so popular that the station could fire them and people would flip out. No, that's not going to happen. This is a small controversy in the Christian world, and you know what? In a few weeks, no one's going to care about these guys at all. So the Benhams don't have the show anymore. But if you are concerned about them, you know, I wouldn't be too worried because I'm sure Fox News is going to give them a show soon enough. My name is Hemant Mehta, and I write at friendlyatheist.com. Please leave your comments below, and we will check them out.